Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Mother in Refuge of the End Times. Today, we would like to bring a post from the Forums of the Virgin Mary. This describes Fulton Sheens' Guadalupe prophecy. This originally appeared on November 6th, 2024. The disintegration of morality, politics, and even the physical environment is advancing rapidly, giving us the signal that we are already at the end of an era because things are finally speeding up. Thus, we are on a threshold of a decisive intervention from heaven because civilization has turned away from God and is now responding to the destructive suggestions of the evil one. And God is not going to allow everything to be destroyed. Dr. Peter Howard, a Catholic theologian and founder of the Fulton G. Sheen Institute, has suggested, based on Sheen himself, that the purification of the world will happen in association with the Virgin of Guadalupe at Tepeyac. And it is a plan designed since the creation of the world. Here we will talk about how this purification of the world relates to the Virgin of Guadalupe, what that means, and what we should do about it. Fulton J. Sheen was an American archbishop who died in 1979, known as a great theologian and for his media preaching and personality, especially for his work on television and radio. Fulton J. Sheen's cause for beatification is currently open. The strong points of Fulton Sheen's preaching were the fight against communism, Eucharistic adoration, and his own Marian devotion. Regarding communism, Sheen explained that although it had begun in Russia, the problem was the errors of communism, which could spread to the entire world. Sheen was a Fatimist and believed that all spiritual paths led to Fatima, and he saw the Virgin Mary as the mediator of nature. For Sheen, the miracle of the sun at Fatima symbolized that in the hands of the Virgin, atomic energy could be used for conversion. However, in the hands of ungodly men, it could lead to destruction. And he thought that humanity, if it did not choose the path of Fatima, would face a nuclear war. He argued that the Eucharistic hour, a daily hour of Eucharistic adoration, would change the world. He said, imagine what it would be like for world peace, especially if priests do this. He also said that the sign of humanity's self-imposed punishments were already visible, and that God is allowing us to suffer the consequences of our own actions, that the day when God says enough is definitely near. He supported the position of the mystics and church fathers who interpreted world history in the context of the 7 days of creation, considering each day to represent 1,000 years of history, and that every 2,000 years a major purification occurred, as in the time of Noah. The last major purification happened when Jesus died on the cross, which meant our eternal redemption. And he said that in 2031, 6,000 years of creation will have been completed, and it would be the end of the sixth day on which God created man. And then would come the seventh day, the day of rest, which is the era of peace. And why did he speak of the year 2031 as the 2000th anniversary of Jesus' death and not 2033? Because he followed the church fathers such as Eusebius of Caesarea, Irenaeus of Lyon, and Tertullian, who based on the dates given in the Bible for the reign of Augustus and Caesar Tiberius, maintained that Jesus had been born 2 years earlier. Today, there is consensus that there was indeed an error in the calculation of Dionysius Exiguus when he fixed the year of Jesus' birth. He also argued that the history of the church develops in 500-year cycles, and each of these cycles is marked by a great event or by the appearance of a prominent saint. During the first 500-year cycle, the fall of Rome occurred, when God gave rise to the great pontiff Gregory the Great, who had been senator of Rome. He became a Benedictine monk and then dedicated himself to the conversion of the barbarians, paving the way for a Christian Europe. The second 500-year cycle brought us the Eastern Schism, but there was also a decline in the holiness of the Church. Gregory VII, a Benedictine, was God's chosen one to heal this crisis and thus prepare the way for the great medieval civilization. In the third 500-year cycle, a break in Christian unity occurred with the Protestant Reformation. The clergy fell back into corruption, nuns became secular, and everyone recognized that reform was definitely needed. In the great Dominican, Pontius Pius V saved the Church through the reforms of the Council of Trent and through missionary activities throughout the world. And now we are in the fourth 500-year cycle, with 2 world wars taking place in 20 years' time, and on the brink of the terror of a 3rd World War. God entrusted these times to John Paul II, who drew the attention of the entire world like few human beings have in history. And in 2031, we will commemorate the 500th anniversary of the appearance of Our Lady of Guadalupe, the 6,000th anniversary of creation. In the 2,000-year anniversary of the Redemption, it is as if all these events converged in 2031 and in Guadalupe. When Our Lady appeared in 1531 in Mexico, it was in the center of the Americas, the geographical center of North America and South America. In which she appeared to Juan Diego, the Virgin expressed her desire to be known as Our Lady of Guadalupe, which in the Aztec language sounded like she who crushes the serpent. And so Our Lady arrived in the New World, establishing a starting point for evangelization in the Americas, like the woman clothed with the son of the apocalypse. And the one who, from the beginning of creation, is expected to defeat the evil one by stepping on his head, according to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. With the miracle of the tilma, the Virgin converted 9 million indigenous people who spoke more than 90 different dialects. But interestingly, around that same time, approximately 9 million Protestants left the Catholic Church in Europe during the Protestant Reformation. Since that time, the Virgin of Guadalupe has prefigured the Immaculate Conception, with her head bowed, her hands together, and about to give birth, who, after the French Revolution, would return to Europe, and when in Lourdes, she said, "I am the Immaculate Conception." Therefore, the Virgin of Guadalupe will play a crucial role in God's final victory over evil. And what will happen in this era that is rapidly coming to an end? We will see that very quickly the physical world, the political and the social world, the moral, will collapse at the very same time. There will be an illumination of consciousness, and from now on, each of us has the responsibility to deepen our faith and act as a beacon of light and love, because the world needs divine guidance now more than ever. Our Lady in the approved apparitions of St. Nicholas in Argentina said that we live in the new times of Noah, where those who took refuge in the ark were saved, and the Virgin of Guadalupe will be the emblem today. And today Our Lady asks us to consecrate ourselves to her in Mass, adoration, reparation, charity, and prayer. And if the purification of the world were to happen in 2031, then the warning or illumination of conscience would be during the 3.5 years of the Great Tribulation, 2028 or 2029, if we subscribe to this alleged prophecy. Well, that's all that Forums in Peru wanted to say about how, according to Fulton J. Sheen, we would be on the verge of an era of peace, and that the 500 years since the appearance of the Virgin of Guadalupe would mark that time. And we'd like to know if you think we're less than a decade away from God's purification of the world, as Fulton J. Sheen then supposed, or if you don't think that's currently the case. Please stay and join us for prayers and devotions for the intentions of this prophecy and the conversion of sinners throughout the world. Welcome to Mother in Refuge of the End Times. We are excited to be releasing our fourth book of prayers, introducing our most comprehensive book of prayers to date, entitled My Daily Prayer Book, Hope of a New Heaven and a New Earth. This collection of the most beautiful prayers is dedicated to and inspired by the Queen and Mother of the End Times. As is seen on the cover page, immerse yourself in the profound richness of Catholic tradition with Mother in Refuge of the End Times, My Daily Prayer Book. This meticulously curated collection features prayers for every moment and every occasion, providing spiritual support and inspiration throughout your day. Begin each morning with powerful prayers like the morning offering in the prayer to obtain the grace of all the world's masses. Deepen your devotion with prayers dedicated to the divine will and the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Honor significant moments with consecration prayers, including those to our Blessed Mother, Saint Joseph, in the most Sacred Heart of Jesus. Engage in heartfelt devotions to the precious blood in the Holy Rosary, and find comfort in the timeless supplications to Our Lady. Enhance your spiritual armor with prayers for protection, conversion, reparation in the Holy Trinity. This comprehensive prayer book also includes special sections for confession, Mass, the Holy Souls, bedtime, and saint intercessions, ensuring you are spiritually fortified at all times. Perfect for personal devotion or as a thoughtful gift, this prayer book is your companion in faith, offering solace, strength, and a deeper connection with God. Enrich your spiritual journey today and embrace the power of prayer with Mother in Refuge of the End Times, My Daily Prayer Book. As always, we thank you so much for your support of this ministry, and may the Lord always shed His grace and love upon you.